How many thousands of pounds are you receiving from the British government every year on dole money? On dole money. How many? Are you on the dole?
So I'm commenting on Anjem Choudary, who has just been given free board and accommodation courtesy of His Britannic Majesty for many years to come. So Mr. Choudary, he's now 57 years of age. So he is perhaps the best known face of militant Islam in the United Kingdom. So he is accused of being either directly or indirectly behind at least 25% of the terrorist attacks in the early 2010s, of having encouraged at least 100 people to join terrorist organizations and so on. Choudary was born in London in 1967. His parents had immigrated to the UK from the Pakistani Punjab. He grew up in an observant Muslim family. He briefly attended Bart's medical school, but he didn't qualify as a doctor. He dropped out. He studied law at the University of Southampton, but then he became a solicitor, but he dropped out of that quite quickly. But in his teens and 20s, he was a non-observant Muslim. He drank heavily, he dabbled in drugs and so on. It's only later that he got into his faith, which can, of course, be an entirely honorable and admirable thing. But for him, no, it led him to a hyper-aggressive perversion of the religion. So he's married, had several children. He's been on benefits most of the time. He's got 4 children. Yeah, he's not going to see them for quite a long time. So he played cat and mouse with the law successfully for years, skirting legality. He was a very glib and a witty debater and publicist for his cause. He reveled in the attention and he relished every opportunity to appear on television. So he clearly enjoyed what he was doing, and he sometimes ran rings around the interviewers. So he was droll, he had a twinkle in his eye, he was a devil in your ear. He is a wordsmith, he's witty and so on. And his cheerful and humorous persona, it belies the vicious ideology that he's espousing, as in death to homosexuals and the subjugation of women and so forth. Wow. And pressure on anyone who's not Muslim, severe discrimination against anybody who's not Muslim, the death for anyone who apostates from Islam and things like that. A supporter of the most cruelly and bloodthirsty and oppressive regimes in the world. If he's not a racist, he's a religionist. He regards it as a superior way of life. Right, and I don't quarrel with his right to do so, but certainly the imposition of this on others who are unwilling would be very bad news indeed. Anjem Choudary, he thoroughly approved of various sort of things like the 9/11 attacks. He was an outspoken admirer of the Taliban. Anyway, he done all sorts of things, Choudary, to encourage support for terrorist organizations. So it was really getting involved in ISIS. That's what got him into trouble.